I could literally, I could make it perfect. Completely perfect. I could do it. I think I'm going to do it. It's gonna be one of my careers.
All right, one more time. Dylan, what is your topic?
English should officially be official.
Okay. And audience, are you ready?
Yes.
Dylan, are you ready? Chancellor, are you ready? No, I will be in half a second though.
Is it recording?
Yeah, it's recording.
Recording in progress. I didn't hear it today.
Yeah. All right, and proceed.
In the US, as we all know, English is the main language. It's what we have here. It's what we see. And there's a lot of speakers, but there are speakers of other language. And it's an occasional issue to try to make it official. We have to think about the people that it affects, the different cultures and things like that, and what they do. And the racial issues, as we know, in the last few years, there's been a lot more conflict. Michigan State University on August 2nd, 2019 stated, dehumanizing language was a strong contributor in the 1994 genocide in Rwanda. I'm not just saying genocide is going to happen here. I'm just saying people hate each other and do attack each other and could kill each other over this issue as we've seen in the last few years, especially with Asian hate crime. And you can also look at like the difficulty and the conflict that would happen in terms of just protesting for these issues that would come from this, and how it's in the US, it's a multiple languages and how bad that be. And if you look at the speakers, 78.4% of people speak English, and there are 350 different languages. So that's a lot of different languages. There's a lot of indigenous languages as well. Liberty Language Service statistic reports it appears that Spanish is the most popular non-English language spoken, with 40.5 million people speaking it as of a 2016 survey. As of 2018, that's 41.5 million. That should be pretty well known, pretty obvious to tell, but that there's still a chunk of other languages that are still there, and the difficulty that would come from that and trying to speak and getting used to speaking English and just communicating. And you think about the people that communicate and that don't speak it, you have to look at the translators and like the different safety labels and the different things and the options. Like, so you've seen those like little booklets that have like numbers that you can call, or if you've gotten an appliance like a washer, you open the top, it has like generally 3 different languages right there. And there might be like generally booklets have different things. And what happens if you try to make it official? Medium points out July 31st, 2018 about English support groups. They support the English Language Unity Act, which make English the country's official language, restrict access to translation services, and impose an Jewish English proficiency requirement for naturalization. So that make it difficult for those people to get used to speaking the language or lose potential citizenship rights with it, because everything that goes with that generally goes back to this issue. And you also have to think about the people that are employed in this, employed in helping people, even in here, like the Spanish teacher in Claudia. Statista July 20th, 2021, statistically reports as of 2020, there are 56,920 interpreters and translators employed in the United States. That's quite a lot of people that actually work to help these people that have gotten degrees and have done different things, which they ultimately would lose their jobs, they'd lose all their time, they'd lose their career, they'd lose a lot from it. And these people, you have to think about the extinction of like languages and the hatred. And last year in November, stated by Science Direct, effects of language on perception can be observed both in higher level processes such as recognition and in lower level processes such as discrimination detection. I assume we all heard like someone else speaking a different language. It's not a bad thing, but we instantly kind of glue it into our head. We're like, oh, they're speaking something different, especially if it's an uncommon language. It points out to you because it's unique, and people can use that in a bad way. And that's where you get the hatred, especially in the last few years, especially with COVID. Expressed by CNBC this August, hate crimes targeting people of Asian descent rose by a whopping 70% last year compared with the number of such incidents in 2019, the FBI said. So hate crime has been steadily worse, and if you more focus on this, you make it more worse, you make it more difficult, you add more into this like cement of just problems. And if you look at a country that did do an official language, it's look at what happened with them. And China, if you know, there's like seven, 8 different languages, but they have like the two main ones, Mandarin, Cantonese, and they made Mandarin official. And a lot of people do speak Cantonese, especially in the southern region and the older people. And with these older people, they're struggling to understand or talk to their kids, and they're changing like television, the way they're broadcasted, it's making it difficult, which has led to processing issues, but even in families, because of how it doesn't match with the cultures. Chinese Uyghur People's Daily states November 16, 2020, 80.72% of Chinese population speak Mandarin. More than 95% of the literate population use standardized characters. The characters are the same, but they're spoken differently, so it's hard to understand each other. And this is as of a recent time, as they've pushed it back in like starting in the 2000s. But if you go back, even in families, Business Insider and Political Contributions from an interview they did for the article on August 25th, 2014. A lot of kids, they speak only Mandarin at school, said Hong Zhao, a 28-year-old media worker, and at their home, they won't speak to them in Cantonese, but the kids will respond in Mandarin. Could you imagine talking to your parents and not understanding them? That would happen with a lot of these people that don't speak English, and it would make it more difficult for all these people, because if you are comfortable where you are, then you're comfortable getting used to things, understanding. And if you look at the culture, it's a country of migrants. There are different people that speak different languages, and even up by like Hokkaido, people do speak Finnish as well, as I was told. And it's also like the de facto language, meaning it's like that's what gets the unofficially official. It's like if you look around here, everything is listed in English. As of the 12th of August, 2014, the Washington Post reported that 31 states with existing official language laws. So states already give status, but they give status to general English and something else, but they don't give full official required status. It's just kind of there's a little honorary thing, I guess you could figure it as. So if you look at the amount of speakers, the amount of other people that do speak it, that's way in the millions, and how this issue is brought up, it would cause conflict and hatred in more than what we need now, as I'm sure you all have seen it recently. So that's why English shouldn't officially be official.
Thank you.
Your intro, liked it.
I had 6:15:56.
At 6:14:68.
6:15.
That's still right on time.
Huh?
It's still right on time.
There. But yeah.
I saw 6:14. I'm like, yeah. So like, I'm like, okay, I got it. Sort of like
6:15.
Sweat.
Yeah, my hands are shaking off things still.
Yeah, that is it.
What if I had like the most fun on Chinese day.
I'm gonna miss one at the end. Not even.
I'm not sure. She said it was like
The best one is peach. I don't go there very often.
Kind of slow. And then start off and then actually.
You know what? You know what?
Instead of like giving them away and show and then doing it, something that repetitive. I'm trying to do something different.
Harder for people to follow along. The regular you got this. So, 6:45 on that one.
I'm not sure. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I want to get done by you. That election costs very good.
I wish you know. I let you do gas to electric, right? Well, just electric cars are better. I don't know if it's, should lock yourself out. Did you adjust that? Good job, Abby.
I just She's under my sister. She's in
Yeah,
the
I
same.
wrote.
No, I didn't.
Check though.
I wrote, Colfer, CJ John.
Yeah. Nicole's, I wrote Hazel. Hazel. She's never really. It's like, we don't have to. Take all the repeats, and then balloon through the first two. I was like, this was a lot faster than I thought that would be. I know there's like a flat repeats.
Yep, I had no idea where it was. It's all.
No, she was the one that wasn't, she was the only one playing. It was like one measure repeats for like. Yeah, no, it was, there was two measure repeats, they just kept repeating. It's like you go and repeat and then go through and go and repeat and go through. She was all.
That was the day the ref asked me.
The ref was funny. It's like,
I did not know.
yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, was that last year?
Yeah.
I feel right on.
Yeah. Hey, but instead it was like.
I'm interested in this topic. It's something that I was talking
That's
about
not
last
easy.
night.
We got our 40-year anniversary from whatever, graduating.
All right, start bringing it together. Are all the evaluations back to Dylan? Got a moment here. Mr. Ball, what is your topic?
Electric vehicles are better than gas.
All right. Audience, are you ready? Andy, are you ready?
Sure.
And proceed.
The first electric vehicle was created in 1836, and it was one of the highest selling vehicles on the road until the Model T came out, and the gas vehicles just took over. Then in the 1970s, gas prices soared, and people didn't want to pay them, so they started going back to electric vehicles. Then when gas prices went back down, they went back to gas vehicles until now. People are switching back to electric vehicles because they create less carbon emissions. They're cheaper in the long run. You could charge everywhere, and there's new battery technology coming out all the time, and they're giving you a unique sound. So according to the United States Environmental Protection Agency of October 2021, electric vehicles create less of a carbon footprint. So we use power plants to get our electricity, which creates a carbon footprint, but we're moving towards more renewable resources like wind, solar, and hydropower. And also in the manufacturing, they get carbon emission from getting lithium and creating the batteries. And we're working on new battery technology to move away from that. But in the long run, gas vehicles create more carbon emission because they have no tailpipe emission. Electric vehicles have no tailpipe emission. And according to BBC News of March 2020, in Sweden and France, carbon emissions are 70% lower than gas vehicles. In the UK, it's 30% lower. In Sweden and France, 70% lower because they use more renewable resources. Well, in the UK, it's probably what the US is right around, because we both have power plants and we are using some renewable resources. So they're also cheaper in the long run. So the new Mini Cooper is about 24,000 in gas, and electric is about 29,000. But the government is giving out rebates to entice people to buy gas or electric vehicles. So if you buy an electric Mini Cooper, you get a $7,500 rebate from the government. So right away, you're paying less than a gas vehicle. According to the Department of Energy in March of 2021, a gallon of gas in Minnesota was $2.75, while a gallon of electricity was $1.17. So you're paying half every time you fill up, and most people fill up at their house and only adds about $20 a month to your electricity bill.
And a 2018 study from the University of Michigan and Energy Sage of April 2021, they found average electrical vehicle cost was $485 to upkeep a year, while gas vehicle is $1,117. That's because in an electric vehicle, you don't have to change your oil, transmission fluid, coolant. And there's a lot less moving parts in the engine, so less chance of it breaking. And according to the Department of Energy of 2012 electric vehicles use 80% of their engine, while gas vehicles use 14 to 26. So electric vehicles are more efficient with their engine and their engine use. And people are also worried about charging, where they're going to charge, and what if they run out. So very few people that own electric vehicles actually run out of battery because they charge at their house overnight because it goes on the same outlet as your toaster or your phone. Or you can upgrade to a fast charger, which most people don't. And according to the EPA of October 2021, there's about 40,000 charging stations in the US alone. According to Drives of July 2021, they're creating vehicle-to-grid, wireless electrical vehicle charging, mobile charging, ultra-fast charging, and new battery technology. So vehicle-to-grid, with that, so cars hit about 95% a day, and when the grid is an high stress hour and a lot of people try and charge or drive electric vehicles, they take energy from that car that's sitting there and put it back into the grid, so it'll reduce the stress. And it can go both ways. So if your car's running low, they'll put energy back in your car. Wireless electrical vehicle charging is for taxis or cars that drive themselves. They'll have automatic charging plates that connect that are underground that connect automatically. So taxi or a car that drives themselves will go park in a certain spot, and then when they need to be used, they'll be fully charged and ready to go wherever you need to go. Mobile charging is like temporary chargers, portable chargers, or charging vans. And Volkswagen created a charging station to go out if the grid goes down, so they'll send those out so people are still able to charge. They're also creating ultra fast charging, which can charge 20 miles in just 1 minute. So in Australia, they put these in between all the big cities. So people, if they're driving from one big city to another, they don't have to worry about running out of charge because they can always just pull up this side of the road and fill out. And they're also creating battery technology. A couple companies making graphene batteries, which will charge in 15 seconds. These won't replace lithium batteries, but they'll supplement it. Toyota's working on sulfide solid state batteries, which can last 30 years. The ones we have now can only last 10. But in about 10 years, we'll have new battery technology. And other companies are eliminating cobalt because cobalt is the most expensive part of the battery. That reduces the price of one. So other people are saying that electric vehicles are boring because they don't have any engine noise. So this company, according to Roadshow by CNET, March 2020, Meltex Ford is a company known for tuning cars. They created an app along with an exhaust system called Active Sound Control. So they have speakers and exhaust that connect to your phone automatically. And on the app, they have engine sound. You can make it snap, crackle, and pop, and however else you want to make the engine sound. You can make it louder, quieter. And they're adding electronic sounds, so it can make it sound like Star Wars and whatever else you want to sound like. And right now it's about $1,650 to add in. So electric vehicles are better because they create less carbon emissions. They're cheaper in the long run. There's always new battery technology coming out, and every vehicle has their own unique sound.
Thank you.
It's 22:42.
622.50.
What?
So close.
Oh,
Eighth,
oh, I guess.
an eighth of 100.
That's ridiculous. It's so close.